My upbringing, I was brought up in probably the most conservative city, American Fork, Utah. And I was brought up very Mormon, hated it by the time I was 12. I was one of those kids that, you look at me now, I had a mohawk like this big, and,
But why did you hate it? I mean, in fact, like, I don't hate the church. I don't hate Pentecostals or Assemblies of God or Catholics, and I've had a lot of run-ins, and I expect much more because of the material, the book that I'm covering on Manson. But give us an example for somebody who's from Seattle or Miami. What is it about the religious experience or your upbringing that you didn't like?
I had questions that they wouldn't answer. They refused to answer, such as, for instance, the Jewish faith. They, have Dead Sea Scrolls. They publish it to scholars so they could, take a look at it.
How are you?
Good. How are you? They publish it to, scholars so everybody could take a look at it. We're Mormons. You can't see their, golden plates or anything like that because they're secret and nobody wants to do that. Their fundamental beliefs conflict with science. Yet these Mormons believe it, and as a kid I was very much interested in science, and so I'd ask the church leaders questions that they could never answer. Like they believe that they came from Jewish descent to South America and then migrated up, but science says actually what happened was the migration started from Bering Strait, came around and migrated down through DNA, and they, that's a conflicting with science, and yet everyone believes that they came south and migrated up. So they just have fundamental things that people just kind of go, that's stupid.
So was it science? Is it the whole Darwin versus Brown?
Yeah, basically. It's just I look at it and go, well, what you're saying just doesn't hold water.
So you decided that you were going to leave, or did they decide for you? Because picking up in Utah seems like a very big decision for people to make. Like, the outside world will never accept me, where will I go? You have people that are leaving polygamous communities and going back because they just don't know how to function or how to date, how to relate, how to talk to people at work.
I was, growing up Mormon, I was kind of the oddball guy. In high school, I graduated like 5th or 6th in my class in terms of grades, but I never really fit in with everybody. So when I did leave, I didn't leave too far. I went to Salt Lake and attended the University of Utah. And so I kind of my first marriage went back to kind of that Mormon roots. I didn't really go to church, but my wife did, and she still lives in a town called Alpine, just above American Fork, and I kind of went to that thing, went really conservative, and once we got divorced, I just kind of went, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want from then on.
How long were you married?
I was married for 2 years.
Did you have a temple wedding?
Nope.
Did you entertain the idea?
Nope.
Well, what does a temple wedding mean to you? For example, the first hour I stepped foot in Salt Lake City on my way to California, I stopped. And as I was videoing the temple, I said, oh, there's a married cute couple, nice, white veil, wow, and take a picture of them. And then over there, oh, another cute married couple. They look kind of young. Took a picture of them. And as I'm walking, I ran into 6 couples in a few hours.
Right. For me, temple wedding was my friends couldn't attend. And that was, just comes down to it that all of my friends weren't Mormon, going to the University of Utah. And if I'd have had a temple wedding, it would have been my parents, my wife's parents, and that was it. Basically, so it's kind of an exclusionary deal where only Mormons who are virtue and faith can attend that. Porn dealer.
You're all, another porn dealer wants to sell me a few paddles and.
Yeah, every Monday or Tuesday I get millions of calls.
What, they know that this is your time in the office?
I usually come out here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so they usually try to call me, or I work from home a lot of the time. Irony of this whole thing is because of the store, I'm actually more of a family man than anybody would know. I mean, I'm really close to my daughters. Me and my wife both mostly work from home, except when I travel out here, we travel on the road, so we're, I think a lot tighter than most Mormon families anymore, which is kind of ironic. So that whole Mormon thing, maybe has influenced me, but in the family time, it's very much me, where I'm very close to my kids.
That's interesting. We didn't even touch upon that. And you were like, you know, it was the family time that I learned with my Mormon family that has instilled this virtue in me.
Right.
Because as an outsider, that's the one thing I totally admire. I sit there and I watch these families and I'm like, wow, it's so strong and so binding that I'm not even sure, I question how healthy it is because I'm such a oddball loner who's doing assignments like these.
For us, it's kind of weird because me and Faith, my wife, we're with my daughter, believe it or not, so I'm an atheist, but I put my daughter in a private religious school, which is kind of funny, but so we take her to school every day, pick up, we're with her, do homework really tight. We're most, you know, I see a lot of Mormon families, even though they come off as close, they're not really. It's the oldest ends up raising the youngest, and so the parents, you know, have 5, 6, 7 kids. The parents don't, you know, they say they have the family time once a week, but they don't really have the closeness I think like me and Faith have with, you know, my kids.